Hey guys, it's aribiterspar and welcome to my Slayer guide for Bloodvelds. So some of the first basic information we're going to be dealing with is the fact that we're only going to be killing mutated Bloodvelds. If you cannot kill mutated Bloodvelds, which requires the completion of the quest The Legacy of Sirges, I do not recommend this task or this guide. However, if you have completed the quest The Legacy of Sirges, then this is one of the best Slayer tasks that you can do, and this guide is for you. So let's get into it. The amount of them assigned by different Slayer Masters is Kuradal assigns 180 to 249 at a time, Duradel 130 to 199, and Simona 120 to 185. The level 126 mutated Bloodvelds have 1780 life points, and the level 146 mutated Bloodvelds have 1960. The lower level combat ones give 178 Slayer experience, and the higher give 196. And when using the spot shown in this guide, it averages out to about 186 Slayer experience per task, or per kill during the task. The main location we're going to be dealing with is the Myri Ditch Tunnels.
So first we'll start off with what you should be wearing. Of course, if you can afford it, as normal, Bandos, Chestplate, and Tassets is your best bet and best option, as well as a Fury. Also, a Berserker Ring, Dragon Boots, and the best gloves you can wear. A Dragon Defender and a Chaotic Rapier is your best choice for a weapon and a shield slot. I like to have some rune arrows in my equipment slot for arrows while I'm killing Bloodvelds because they drop lots of stacked rune arrows and I pick them up and just equip them so it doesn't take an inventory space. Also, Fire Cape is the best option here for fastest Slayer experience per hour. Also, a full Slayer helmet for your helmet is a good bet, and if you cannot wear this or you don't have it, then a Black Mask Charged is your next best bet. The Bandos and the Fire Cape and the Fury are all interchangeable with Proselyte, Soul Wars Cape, and a Glory, respectively. If you cannot afford the Bandos, or if you feel like saving on some per points. However, it is worth it to note that your task and Slayer experience will be much faster if wearing the Bandos, the Fury, and the Fire Cape over Proselyte, Soul Wars Cape, and a Glory. Alright, now the next thing we're going to get to is your inventory setup. I do not recommend killing Bloodvelds without a cannon, but there is a non-cannibal option that we will get to a little bit later, and it is in the same place as where we put the cannon, so I'll show you that when we get there. However, for this, you're going to need all 4 of your cannon parts, as well as I recommend 3.5k plus cannonballs. I just bring this out because this is the number I had in my bank. Also, you're going to want 3 overloads. These are interchangeable with extremes, as well as supers, less if you cannot afford extremes or overloads. Of course, overloads will provide the best Slayer experience per hour because you remain at the constant highest boost. Next, you're going to want 13 prayer potions. You can do it on 12, however, because once I get there and I lay down my cannon, that opens up 4 free inventory slots anyway to pick up things, and by the end of my task I would have used quite a few prayer potions, opening up more inventory slots. I just fill up all 13 spots with prayer potions because I never know when I'm not going to be paying too much attention, or I might have to go semi-AFK or something that might end up making that task take longer, in which case I'll need some more prayer points. So I just fill up 13 instead of 12. Also, you're going to want a Holy Wretch because you get more prayer potions per drink when you have this in your inventory. So that's always good to help make it last longer. A Glory to tell you out of there for whatever reasons, especially when the task is over. I always bring a Ring of Slaying so I know how many kills I have left. A Bone Crusher is recommended but not required, as they do drop bones and it is some decent fast prayer experience. Obviously not too fast as actually training the skill, but it also gets them as a drop out of your way so you can see everything else more clearly. I bring a pickaxe with me for when I run to the Bloodvelds because you have to go through the abyss. Also, Dragon Claws as your spec weapon. It is interchangeable with other spec weapons, of course, like a DDS or whatnot. I also bring Iron Within Scrolls. You're going to want to have the best scrolls, combat scrolls for your best combat familiar. As you can see, I have an Iron Titan summoned. Steel Titan is the best option from here, Iron Titan being the next best, and then of course Geyser Titan, just whatever best combat familiar that you can bring. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to get to the Bloodveld spot that we're going to. So, starting from Edge, you're going to be running north, and we're going to go through the Abyss. Now, if you're going to be killing Bloodvelds and you've done Legacy of Sirges, you're going to know where the Abyss is, probably. So, just bear with me for a second while I get up there. Right-click teleport through the Mage of Zamorak, and we're in here. You're going to want to find the nearest opening. The Blood Rift is on the west side, so perfect, we found a rock right here. and we're going to be going through the Blood Rift. You don't really have to worry about PKers as you're only going to be in the wilderness for a couple of seconds, and if they are, it's not multi-combat, so they're going to either have to barrage you or teleblock you. If they teleblock you, you're not going to have a problem running out because they're not going to be able to barrage you on Ancients, and if they barrage you, then you can tele out because they're not going to be on Standard to teleblock you. So yeah. Anyways, once you go through the Blood Rift, exit through the portal, and you're going to run south. Also note that you're going to want to drink a prayer potion because when going through the abyss, your prayer would have been drained. Set your quick set prayers to protect melee and turmoil. And as we are always going to be pretty much attacking, the turmoil does help a lot here. So I would recommend having it on. And you are also going to need protect for melee or deflect melee. So keep running east until we can go south. As you can see, we're coming up on some enemies right here. Turn on your quick set prayers, and the best spot to put your cannon is come to the center stage right here and move 5 squares left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set up your cannon in this spot. As you're setting up your cannon, drink a spot of your overload and click start firing. Also, I have my left click familiar option set to cast Iron Within. This way I can manually scroll more often and more often cast my familiar special if I feel like focusing and doing that. If you do have a range type familiar, you're going to want to use it to attack that mutated Bloodveld and the Bloodveld that usually goes off in either the southwest or northeast direction. You're also going to want to be on a higher spawning world. What I mean by that is you want to be on a world with more people. If there's an option between your home world, which has 600 people in it, and another world which has 1,700 people in it, you're going to want to go to the world with the more people because it helps the monsters spawn faster. Like I said, also, if you have a range-based attack familiar, you're going to want to use it to attack the Bloodvelds that stay away from the cannon or become blocked. Mostly the southwest one and the very north one. At this Slayer spot, with max combat gear like I'm wearing, Bandos, overloads, a Steel Titan, and a cannon, actually 80k Slayer experience per hour is possible here. If you do pick up the gold charms though, which means moving out more often from under your cannon, then you are probably going to lower down closer to 78k Slayer experience per hour, which isn't that big of a drop. But as I don't pick up golds, well, I don't pick up golds. So switch to your special whenever you decide to remember to do it, and you're pretty good from there on out, and pretty much just complete your task. As far as drops go, Bloodvelds don't have a lot of good drops. They do drop Dragon Med Helms and quite a few rune drops, like scimitars and things of the sort. They also have decent effigies per hour drops, a little over an hour per effigy. But they are one of the fastest Slayer experiences in the game, coming in at around 80k Slayer experience per hour, of course with max gear. Alright, now we're going to talk about not cannoning. Basically, if you're not cannoning, mutated Bloodvelds are still a decent task to do. However, with the 80k Slayer experience per hour rate, if you are going to cannon, I feel cannoning is such a good opportunity that you shouldn't pass it up. But, just for the spirit of some of you that may not be able to cannon but can still do this task, you can use basically just your best combat familiar and best gear and same exact setup except without a cannon. 45k Slayer experience per hour is possible here with max combat stats, max gear, and turmoil on, as well as overloads and a Steeler Iron Titan. You still can get 45k Slayer experience per hour here, as you'll basically almost always be attacking a monster with virtually low to none defense 100% of the time. Just make sure to use good use of your familiar, as well as, basically always constantly attacking. If you need to go semi-AFK for a little bit, a good strategy is to attack a couple of them, as it is multi-combat area, and then you can have a few of them on you at once. With auto-retaliate on, you will always be basically attacking one, as one will attack you as soon as you're not attacking the one that you're attacking anymore.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this guide and I hope it helped you. If it did, feel free to shoot us a thumbs up or a favorite. It's always appreciated. And feel free to come check out my channel for more RuneScape guides and content.